the BA and other interest, foreign interests wouldn't like a newcomer, especially from Nigeria. That would be they would rather allow other African countries that will be going merry-go-round, taking passengers to their countries before using connecting flights to use the route. But Onyema, another one going Nigeria direct flight is a no for them. And I know they will put everything. They will put as a someone that is into media. I already know before now that they are going to use every opportunity to knock on him. One, what they try to mobilize to paint down is not only about Onyema, but they want to blackmail the country, everything about the country. You see, they've succeeded. Some of the things that are making waves in Nigeria or making waves has been private sector or private individual, private citizens' efforts trying to rebrand. If you notice over the past 5 to 6 to 5 years or from 10 years back, there has been shifts from bad image of Nigeria driven by Nigerians, private sector, individual effort, various Nigerians trying to rebrand the Nigerian and using every other private endeavors. Because to us, we believe that yes, if our leadership are not doing well, average Nigerians want to succeed, want the country to get better. And they started everybody started doing well from their own small places, trying to project that every Nigerians can actually. And at the time, Africans all black race started to look at Nigeria, the courage to stand out, the courage to join the big players, the courage to be part of the international community. And if AP succeeds, other Africans will join, other Nigerian companies will join in so many sectors. So they need to stop it. Mind you, APC is not the first Nigerian airline that have tried this route before. From Arik and about three other airlines have done that. So what do they have? They have media, organized media, and thank God for social media and Nigerians and commitment like the digital our newborn baby, digital uh, media that is also pushing a pro-Nigerian narrative and other, balancing the narrative, trying to balance the narrative, reporting. Because before now, the British media will just set agenda. If you want to paint you black, they will just set agenda. If you want to paint you good, they will just set the agenda and everybody will join. And that is what they are trying to set. They want to set one that Nigeria company, Nigeria Aviation Set or Nigeria Airline or an airline from Nigeria is not worthy. They couldn't get anything around the APs as the company. They are now trying to blackmail the face of the company. And again, they are also blackmailing Nigeria because Nigeria did one thing with the Harris visit. They use Harris visit to prove that the country can actually host high-level profile individual. That Nigeria is open for hospitality, that they can actually visit Nigeria. But what British media is actually painting in Nigeria is that nobody lives in that country. That country is not inhabited, that the country is like no living being. It's like a jungle. That's what they're painting. So that Nigerians use that Harris visit to market their country. Nigerians, not just the government, but Nigerians, they use that opportunity to project their country as where you can come in and be entertained and be hosted in a very civilized manner and welcome, where we are welcome. The British royal family and other sentiment They are not comfortable with that. And for that, every person that participated in that, every high profile person is a target. The Nigeria image is a target. Nigeria citizens we are targets of blackmail. Our country is being targeted to be blackmailed down. And APs haven't been a target even before the coming of Harry. For them to join the league of big boys in quotes in that route become a multiple target. So they are targeting him, one, as for joining the Lagos London route. Two, for participating actively in hosting Harry and the wife, which they believe that once they rejected him, that he couldn't be given such honor or such welcome. They don't want to see him succeed. And for him to visit, and again, they say something that they don't used to approve for a royal visit to take place, that they will approve a country, a particular place the person will go and what have you. Though it was a private visit, but we gave the young man a royal welcome. We try because we need the opportunity to tell the story of our country, a country that can welcome you, that we are ready to welcome people, that we are ready to say, okay, come, Nigeria is open for you. That is what we want to tell them. But unfortunately, they are not being fair to Nigeria, and I want to say that it's left for Nigerians to defend themselves and their country and their brand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tonya, for giving us this background information. Okay, Mazi Okoye, before we go into the other issues related to this topic, you live in the UK. What would you say about do you have an opinion basically on how Meghan Markle and Prince Charles have been treated over these past years since Prince Harry kind of, renounced the the monarchy, his birthright, so to say, to have a freer life in the United States. And then Meghan Markle, having married Meghan Markle, who, you see, is not white. So do you have any opinion on how he has been treated before we go into the connection with their Nigerian visit?
Yeah, I think the way they have been treated, in my opinion, has nothing but sort of been actually disgusting, because I saw, even from the marriage, from when they start dating, the kind of aspersions being cast on that girl for no apparent reason. I've seen the kind of opinion written by Jeremy Clarkson, where he was in fact, painting her as as someone that has committed the worst atrocities. And what actually this Meghan Markle did, apart from just marrying Prince Harry, someone that fell in love and got married, but this all stemmed from that sort of innate hatred towards people of color, Black people. They always perceive that Black people is beneath them. They always see, especially their royal family as a purity sort of cult in human form. So it's all stemmed from that. So it has been ongoing. So it wasn't a surprise that the kind of reception they received in Nigeria, is a trigger for the right-wing media here in the UK. Now they were so flabbergasted. They were so mad. I've never seen people so mad as to someone just two couples just going for a little trip, 3-day trip to Nigeria, where they were received with hospitality and where they were welcomed with open arms. And these guys just lost their heads and start throwing all kinds of shade towards Nigeria, calling Nigeria all manner of names, and that kind of stuff. But it was expected by these from them that they were like this, to start with. So right from the time this brouhaha with what's his name, this British commentator that carried it in his head, that later got sacked by ITV. I've forgotten his name now. He's a popular commentator. He worked for CNN at some point. What's his name? Mr. Big Mouth. What am I doing with his name? He's not so much now on TV. He was the one that actually was, painting this couple with all manner of things and calling them all manner of name. I think he was actually instrumental, why they left this country to go and reside
Piers
in
Morgan, you mean?
Sorry? Piers Morgan,
Morgan?
yes, thank you. Piers Morgan, thank you very much, yes. Piers Morgan, yes. He was very instrumental in what this couple went through about 2 or 3 years ago, where they were, basically thrown out of the United Kingdom, where they have, where they live, where they built a home, and they were calling them all sorts of names, imputing to them all manner of things, saying that they only spend taxpayers' money and all manner of stuff. That they spend billions and billions. In fact, it was so bad that people start wondering, what is going on? What actually did this girl did that was so hurtful to Piers Morgan that Piers Morgan has to literally lost his job as a commentator in IT because there was a program one morning where this colored guy is a mixed race came and completely demolished Piers, and Piers simply ran out of his studio because he doesn't really have answer to what the fact this guy was throwing at him. This guy was telling him that he better own it that he simply hates Meghan Markle, and Meghan Markle has never really, stooped down to his level to come and start, having this, fighting, verbal match with him. And that's why he's so upset. And Piers Morgan couldn't handle it and simply take off his microphone. This is a commentator, elite commentator in an elite network in the United Kingdom. Threw off his microphone, mic, and then left the studio that morning. And that was the end of his career with ITV at the time. So you can see all these things playing out. And then comes this Nigerian trip where they were really happy, and they cannot handle it. It was for them, the end of the world. It was for them so hurtful that they they start calling them, saying that they're not really royals, that proper royals can never set foot in Nigeria. Nigeria has issues of insecurity. Nigeria has issue with human rights violations. Nigeria has this and that. It's just the same sort of, castigation of, people that don't, like, or people that don't come and, act slavishly towards them, people that don't agree with what everything they say and do. So it's all the same pattern, and we have seen it. And this is not going to be the last. Wherever this couple goes, so long as they continue in this trajectory, they will always be, castigated in this manner. And whichever country that showed them any kind of, respect, just a simple respect that Nigeria showed to this couple. It's not like Nigeria we went out of our way to entertain them. It's simply courtesy things that Nigeria did when they came to Nigeria to show them support, to respect them as, respectable individuals that, trying to make the world a better place, supporting injured soldiers, that sort of stuff, their charity. They didn't like it. They didn't even talk about that. They were just saying that they just come to Nigeria to insult the brother and King Charles, which to all intents and purposes was just simply
Okay,
trying to.
Maz, thank you very much for this brief analysis. Let me before we continue, let me show, for instance, how some sections of the British media, I call them the right-wing press. I've just Googled something now to see how a section of the British press have reported some of these issues. If you look here, Prince Harry has recently been in the news regarding his travel arrangements during a trip to Nigeria. You see, a source close to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle defended the couple after they were flying around Nigeria by Air Peace, whose boss is reportedly a wanted fugitive in the United States. So, over the past 2 days, in fact, almost every day in the British press, you will see, look at this one, Daily Express 2 days ago, Prince Harry slammed for racking up carbon emissions. Come on. So all these British celebrities that fly around the world with even their chartered aircrafts, what are they racking up? Is it oxygen emissions? Look at this one. Daily Mirror. Even Daily Mirror is not a right-wing press, but look at what they said. Harry and Meghan Markle flown for free by airline boss who is again wanted, who is the wanted fugitive in the United States. And then we look at Daily Beast, what they push back. Then Daily Mail. Can you please mute yourself? You look at Daily Mail, a right-wing press, revealed Meghan and Prince Harry were flown around Nigeria for, let us see, flown around Nigeria for free with a top-tier treatment by airline whose chairman is a fugitive wanted in the US over 20 million naira money laundering operation. Interestingly, if you look at the way Guardian reported this, this thing is covering my, okay, it's gone up now. Okay, I think I saw a report on the Guardian. I don't know, this thing is covering my, how do I remove this? Okay, let me see. There's a report in the Guardian I have loved to show now. Oh no. No. Because the Guardian reported that this matter have been investigated and okay. Let me minimize my no. Another thing they are reporting that even the insinuation that it is not safe. Local airline operator LP says some alleged safety violations raised by the United Kingdom Civil Aviation Authority has been resolved with the British regulator. And so all this insinuation that it is not safe. So I think what irked them was that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gave a vote of confidence by flying on this aircraft that the insinuation has been that it is not safe so to travel and nothing happened. All right, so this is the Guardian report. U.S. court acquits Air Peace boss, fines Mayfield $4,000. You see, there is this report that after 3 years of investigation involving 5 agencies of the American government and the subsequent legal fireworks, the district court in Atlanta, Georgia, has finally exonerated the chief executive of Air Peace, Chief Allen Onyema, of any business fraud, and even ordered a fine against people who were raising the allegation. Now, is there any connection between what Allen Onyema is facing today and what has been the traditional UK or even imperial powers view, where a local business is coming up to challenge a multinational corporation? I saw a report released today by Governance Index, which reviewed what King Jaja of Opobo faced by insisting that the British Empire must buy palm oil through him and will not deal directly with local palm oil producers. Ms. Onya, do you want to speak on this, or do you have, are you able to build any connection between what King Jaja of Opobo faced? If I can just share briefly on that report. Yes, let me just share the report so that those who have not read it can go and read. It was a 15-page document, which we obtained today from Governance Index. I think 17-page document. So the headline is Geo-Economics of Palm Oil and Air Freight on the West African Coast, lesson from Jaja of Opobo and Ellen Onyema. It gave a brief history of what King Jaja of Opobo did with the British Empire and what eventually happened to him. They now try to build a connection between what Ellen Onyema is facing today and what King Jaja of Opobo faced about more than 100 years ago. Mr. Onya or Mazoko, are we able to speak on that?
We can have a go at it.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, going back to that, during that early days of just after the slave trade was abolished, and the European, especially the British Industrial Revolution was kicking in. We know the importance of how important palm oil was at the time that Britain is actually willing to go to war in order to protect, in order to be able to protect the source of this raw material, which they needed so much. And where King Opobo came in is that King Opobo was at the time more like in a modern sort of parlance, in a modern sort of trade hierarchy. I think King Opobo will be like a top-notch sort of distributor, so to say, where he's the one that, sort of goes into the hinterland and then, buys off this palm oil from the locals and then bring it out into the sort of coast where the British would then take it off him and then load it into the ships and then off to Europe. So he's like a distributor at the time. However, he was, I don't think at the time he was charging that much, really, only that at the time he was seen as, being a bit more assertive. He's trying to now at the time start trying to assert his sort of a little bit of authority with regards to the prices and what the British pay him for that, the product. And I think there is a few treaties which he signed with the British at the time, which was, at the time was quite unfavorable to him. And he was...
let me read out, Mazuke, let me read this out to kind of give a clear picture of what you are explaining now, because it's important that we understand this. In that report I'm reading now, it says, King Jaja's overall feat was the result of the interaction among three important factors, namely geostrategy, geoeconomics, and geopolitics. Geostrategy manifested in the strategic geography of Opobo. The Opobo kingdom was situated at the Opobo-Nkoro River. Therefore, the kingdom held a commanding position along the trade routes of the Niger Delta. Yes. This favorable location allowed Jaja to control the flow of goods and exert his influence over regional commerce. The region was also a natural home of palm oil. The abundance of palm oil influenced the rise of geoeconomics. Jaja appreciated the importance of palm oil. Hence, he instituted economic policies that enhanced its production, including youth empowerment and adoption of methods of palm oil extraction. By promoting palm oil production and trade, Jaja endeared himself to different communities in the Niger Delta and absorbed them under his control. Lastly, he gained British recognition of his territories. Therefore, Jaja achieved geopolitics. But then, in 1868, the British Empire were no longer comfortable with Jaja commanding this trade of palm oil, because palm oil was a very, very important product of that age.
Yes.
So the Britain want to directly control this trade.
That they want to have a direct control and trade with the people exactly from the source.
Exactly. And British merchants also sought a reduction in the price of palm oil due to the
Palm oil,
drop in the
yes.
world price. But
Mm-hmm.
King Jaja refused.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, they are the empire. They are not happy with him.
Yes.
Eventually, they wanted to deal with him. They now gave him two options. First, it's either you agree to be taken to Accra to face trial, or
Mm-hmm.
you watch, or your kingdom will be ambushed.
Mm-hmm.
But to protect his people, Jaja agreed to be taken to Accra. In Ghana, Jaja was tried, found guilty of blocking trade among other charges, forced to live in exile until 1891 when he was pardoned and permitted to return to his kingdom. But on the
Mm-hmm.
way to return to his kingdom, he died mysteriously in the ship.
Yes.
And immediately after his death, the British Empire, like a roaring lion, pounced on the oil rivers region and started to maximally exploit its natural resources.
Resources,
Because
yes.
King Jaja is now out of the way. So,
Yes.
are we seeing a similarity between what happened to King Jaja of Opobo and what the British airline or whatever the British media wanted to achieve, the way they are now relating with Allen Onyema of Air Peace? Let's just now come to that again. Because that is the main issue on the conversation. So, okay, let's call on Mr. Onya to speak on this, and then we come back to you, Mazuko. Mr. Onya, are you there? Are you still with us? Okay. So is there a way we can relate what happened to King Jaja of Opobo with what is, maybe it has not happened to Ellen Onyema, but is there a risk?
Yeah, it's all about economic geopolitics, like you said, economic policies, political economy, attempt to control the economy, to be in charge. Don't allow new entrant into the supposed lucrative economic zone area. Using everything. That time they use influence, colonization, and being more informal with people. Now they use media, either blackmail you, paint you black, and take you out. And that's when Israel trying to set narrative, condemn you before the public. They don't need to go to court. They don't need court. What they need is just condemn that case in court. Just hang it there. Then let us use media to drive it. What use the media mess the business up. What they just like that of King Jabia or Popopo, mess the man up, take charge of the economic activity, expand, never allow him to rise again, take charge and continue to make more profit. So it's all about profit. Take a piece out of the business, expand the business network, control the profit, increase, maximize the profit, and make sure that none of such come up. That is it. So in terms of economic agenda, profit agenda, and keeping the hosting country, for instance, keeping like they kept West Africa, King Jaja and business of oil farm into their country after taking Jaja away. Take a piece out of the business and continue to determine the price, determine the other economic capital flights that we go with it. Because Nigerians will be paying and the money will be moving out of Nigeria, thereby creating business to other country, and while Nigeria population will keep on growing, unemployment will be going higher. And if they succeed in driving APs out, the implication is that if you intend to come into the business as a Nigerian, you'll be afraid. They will kill the confidence. So no, in next 10, 20 years, you will have such person or such Nigeria business that will come up to join, to be so ambitious, because they must have damn, as in kill the confidence, as in the ambition. So that is why the AP's agenda is beyond. It's not about Ellen Onyem. It's about Nigerians. It's about Africa defending a brand, national brand. We must rise around him, drop our political, ethnic, religious division, and come together to defend our own, because if the country goes down, it has serious implications. Just like when Dajo Opopo went down. When he went down, every other person, every other business within that vicinity become under. These people started setting business agenda, setting prices for. When your buyer is setting your price, you as a market, your buyer is the one setting price for you. You should know. You should know what it will look like. There is no way he will even be setting price below the cost of production, knowing that, and they are controlling the market, knowing that no other person will come to buy. So that is what they want to. They will control the system and create monopoly and determine the price against us. All of us will become victims of the setup. So it is left for Nigerians to stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted at this point to defend a brand that is representing Nigeria, a brand that puts Nigerian name on the map as one of leading airlines in sub-region. And again, aviation sector in Nigeria is growing very fast, very fast. So they know that with our population and with the number of Nigerians in diaspora, that if this man is allowed, if this company is allowed to survive this route, that there will be trouble. They know. And they're also aware of the more flights and strategic alliance APs went with a foreign airline to strengthen their service on this route. They know the implications. And they're also aware of the new flights, some expected plane that they ordered, APs ordered, that are yet to come. They know that this is ambitious, very courageous and ambitious businessman moving into where they don't expect an African. So the only thing is that let us take him down. That's about Markle, that Harry and all this. That wasn't the target. At this point is the business that are being capitalized, profit. Take him down, take him out. Use this opportunity, blackmail him, take him out. This is the right time to use it, because one, using the Prince Harry narrative visit, which has already created traffic, media traffic, using this period to push this single agenda, we give them results they want, a wider audience. As media started, they sat down and drive it and push it out. And it's actually giving them the attention they want. And after that, depending on how Nigerians are not sleeping on this. I like what is happening, the way Nigerians are following them up. Because if after this, they will have other, this might be option A. Option B, like I said before, they have a lot of plans in there. They will be releasing them one after the other. One after the other. And let me submit that in the face of this, citizenship need to stand up. The patriots need to stand up and defend their nation, because at the end of the day, we don't have another country. We don't, and if they run the country down, to come tomorrow, they will refer you as the survival of APs. We give average Nigeria, anywhere in the world. It will give us that pride to stand out as a people that can make out goods, or that can grow business. But if APs die in this form, it will be tragic, and history will be unkind for some of us if we keep quiet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Tonya. Use this opportunity to use what we've just said to relate it to what is being published in the UK media. Interestingly, every other media continues to quote from that Daily Mail original report. And that makes you wonder the ethics of journalism here. Why don't you make your own investigation instead of taking cover under the original Daily Mail, which we have seen have been disproved by another Nigerian publication, The Guardian. But just look at the allegation against Prince Harry again, the way you accurately said, using the opportunity of the Harry visit to push back on Alan Onyema. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were given free flights around Nigeria by airline company Air Peace, whose book Dr. Alan Onyema is reportedly wanted in the United States. And not only that, they now come here and said about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have come under fire for the environmental impact of their private flights. The couple, along with a small entourage, took a 120-seat plane on a 664-mile round trip. In other words, this is funny. This journey from Abuja to Lagos and back on May 12 resulted in approximately 12 tons of carbon emissions, 3 times the average global annual carbon footprint per person. And the Sussexes are known advocates against climate change. So all these people who travel today, they travel to Israel. David Cameron have been shuttling to Middle East all this while. Maybe he was traveling there with camel, so as not to get carbon footprint. Well, in any event, if you are Dr. Alan Onyema Mazoke, what would you do at this point? Would you cower? Would you say, let me, tuck my tail behind my legs and run? Or how would you think Dr. Alan Onyema should react to this negative press in the UK press, in the UK media?
Yes, I think Alan, to my surprise, actually, is a very, very shrewd businessman, a very intelligent businessman, because I believe he has actually anticipated these moves by these people, because I think he has played it for a long time. Because it actually didn't start today, because he himself, according to what he has said in the news elsewhere, that they have been trying to get into this road for some time now. Even during the Buhari era, the whole 8 years, they kept trying, but they keep, getting disappointed, even from the Nigerian end, not even from the UK end. So I think he has actually dotted his eyes and crossed his T's with regards to all these things that people are coming up with now, especially with the news of him breaking the aviation rule, whereby authorities has reported him to the UK air authorities and all that, which they refuted, saying that this was sorted out about a month ago. Why is it being sensationalized now in Nigerian media in order to be able to create fear, with people traveling with airpiece? So you can see all this coming, and I believe that Alan himself, being a shrewd person who has learned from experience, has anticipated this. And he also mentioned a very important thing with regard to this aviation industry, because according to him, you have these sort of leases, this wet lease and dry lease, and you have people, you have also companies or nations having this, buying planes outright. To him, I think most of his planes actually was bought outright by himself. I don't think any of his planes or some of his planes are on leases. Even if he's on leases, he opted go for the wet lease, which he owns. He's dealing directly with the company that put, like Boeing and A340 that's produced in Europe. Is dealing directly with the companies, leasing directly from the companies, not leasing from third party, which is dry lease, which Nigerian owned companies that used to ply this route used to have, which is dry lease, whereby if you're a third sort of party to that agreement, they can take you off the route at any time they want. So I think he has dealt with it as a shrewd businessman, crossing his T's, dotting his I's, making sure that his planes are owned by himself, making sure that he didn't go for any sort of, that dry lease, whereby he's actually subletting route from some other company that fly this route, say, for example, from Beijing or from British Airways itself, whereby they can wake up each one morning and say, okay, we don't longer want you in this route. We are canceling this contract. So I think he has done the best he can do. And the only thing that is left for him now to continue doing the right thing, which I'm sure he will continue to do, regardless of the kind of image that they are painting, regardless of the kind of insinuation they are throwing about everywhere. I believe the Nigerians are firmly behind Ali Onyema. His flights are fully booked, and his flights people are enjoying making videos about their experience with in regards to this new Nigerian flight, because it's a pride thing for us. It's a very, very pride thing for us that every other nation has their own airlines coming to pick their own people. Only Nigerians are getting ripped off by these foreign airlines, giving us all this exorbitant price. For us to travel for 6,000 miles, we pay the same amount as someone that actually traveling to somewhere, in the Far East, say, for example, to China or South Africa, which is about 12,000 miles, 12 hours, only 6 hours, people are paying the same amount, which is not fair. So he has actually busted their business, and they're not happy about it. They're not happy about it, and it's not expected that they will be happy about it. And, he can only do the right thing and stick by Nigerians. This is a Nigerian fleet. This is a Nigerian carrier. And we all need to support Alan because he's doing his own bit. It's only left for us Nigerians to do our own bit and support our own and make sure that he succeeds.
All right. We thank you very much. So before we conclude this conversation, those who have joined this meeting, we thank you all. If you want to make any contribution in the next 5 minutes or so, please indicate by raising up your digital hand and we will recognize you. We use the next 5 minutes to kind of summarize our conversation, and we welcome any comments from the audience. All right. So while we wait to see whether any member of the audience will have something to say. So Ms. Tonya, basically, what conclusion can we draw from what is happening between the British Airways, the British establishment, so to say, the British media, again, let me say the British right-wing media, because we haven't seen much of this report from, like BBC or Guardian and so on. I watched the way the BBC and even the Sky covered Prince Harry's visit to Nigeria. I think it was a balanced report. What we are seeing is actually from Daily Express, Daily Mail, Daily Record. These are recognized right-wing press in the UK. Anyway,
and
before I come to you, sorry?
And GB News.
Yeah, okay. How did GB News cover it? I've not really watched the way they
Oh my God. They were the worst. They were really? Worse than, they were worse than Guardians and all. And Daily Mail, they were worse. You should watch it.
Wow. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. Okay, Mr. Henry Ogine, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for organizing this discussion. Actually, it was my secretary that brought this to my attention a couple of days ago, the write-up on Daily Mail. I read it, and then I watched a clip from GB News on YouTube. I have the following conclusions. One is, there's so many angles you can look at it from. One from the European airline lobby group, as somebody have mentioned earlier, they has been exploiting Nigerians. I do travel quite a lot from my base in Luxembourg here. I do travel quite a lot. And I can say that the fee from here to Nigeria rivals that from here to US or from US to Nigeria. And they are trying as much as possible actually to nip this off the board, because they know that the next target will be the Paris hub and the Frankfurt hub, which are actually very lucrative to European airlines. On the British establishment side, I was unfortunately said that it's a dying power that still overestimates its relevance to the wider world and thinks and believe that they still wield power over anybody or over any people. And the report from GB News was very venomous, that even the devil will not believe what the guy was saying. And finally, as there's a feeling that everybody has or everybody knows that Britain believe that they have lost Nigeria, so to say, and they think that Nigeria is actually kind of looking down on them by not having maybe a senior royal engage on the traditional royal tour where people might be bowing to a sovereign. So, in conclusion, this thing doesn't matter, but it matters. But I don't know how we in the diaspora, especially our brothers and sisters in the UK, can actually creatively push back on this, because it was very insulting, it was full of lies, and it was very patronizing coming from a country that has committed uncountable crimes to humanity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Henry. It's nice to hear from you. Okay, Paul, you can unmute yourself. Paul, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah. What I want to say is this. If I noticed from my analysis that as has been rightfully noted, it is an all-out attack to bring Onyema down. Now, my question is, what is Onyema himself doing to sell himself? Because this is business, and it is so glaring that it is a gang up against him to bring him down. So, but he doesn't have to sit down, clasp his hands, and then watch them attack him without him doing anything. I don't know what he's doing, but in case he has not been doing anything, or if he have advisors, they should advise him to equally learn to tell his own story, because these guys will not stop. So he ought to have a strong media that have international reach, that will equally keep telling his story on a daily basis, or at least regularly. He has to have a paid media that will be projecting him, that will take him out there to counter whatever other parties are saying against him, to counter back. It is very important. Business thrives on information. And in this digital age, it is very, very important that he learn how to tell his own story by himself. Nobody's going to tell his story for him. He must tell his story by himself. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Onya, you have written very well about what Mr. Onyema have been doing to counter the efforts in this battle over Lagos-London route. Can you just briefly, not too much, what Mr. Onyema did business-wise to make sure that he wasn't driven out of business? I'm sure you have written about it.
Yeah. I think I believe he did his feasibility studies well before joining the route, and he expected some of this. And when he started, he appeared on channels when the target was to crash when they kickstarted the price war. And he came to Nigeria, and because the price war, the target were Nigerians. So he came and created a kind of patriotic, a call for patriotism, as in citizenship, as in try to mobilize Nigerians to back it. And also, he now moved from just Lagos and created about 6 to 7 other routes, local routes, whereby you can, from Enugu, if you are traveling to London from Enugu, if you are traveling to London, you can come to Enugu, enter APs, from APs, they will take you to Lagos, from Lagos, and you are not paying additional this thing. They will just, from Kaduna, I think Kano, Port Harcourt, Abuja, so many other multiple routes, Owerri and others. So that advantage they created to counter some of this. And also, he has been trying to tell his own story. That's a strategy for him. That's a strategy. And I believe with this latest development, because this just happened, he will know that the war is not just a price war. That, like I said before, that it is like a script. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're hearing you. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I know it's like a script that that they must have put it in phases. So if this one didn't work, we move to this. If this didn't work, then so they are now at the media space
Stage.
of their script, and are playing the media. How long they will be on this media script, we don't know. They play the price war. They play the trying to frustrate them on ground during their inaugural flight at Gatwick Airport. So they've gotten to the media on. So we don't know how far. And they have, these are international airline operators. They have their network, they have watches, they have budget for media. And these guys are writing this consistently. They are being pushed to do that. They are intentional about what they're doing. And like we asked, APs, we also need to go back to the drawing board. Ordinarily, I also expected the people in charge of Nigeria image officials to also mobilize, because the image of the country, that they can see it as attack on the image of the country regarding Harry, and make a bold statement. Make bold statement, even Nigeria High Commissioner and the office should make a bold statement that they should make a bold statement that we call for diplomatic engagement, bilateral engagement on this note. Because one, the government should see this as Nigerian business. Americans will go out to protect private business, American private business. I remember sometimes when Macron of France wanted to start taxing some American companies, giving us some tax, and Trump called him that that we are going to tax, that we are also going to impose special levy on wine from France. And the French president dropped the attempt to levy American products. What am I saying? It's got a point. These are private products from private companies, American private companies, not government companies. So it has got to the point that Nigerians need to stand up as a giant of Africa, as a strategic partner with the breathing quotes, as one of the important members of Commonwealth. Britain is a leader of Commonwealth. Nigeria is I don't think, apart from India, no other Commonwealth nation has up to 200 million population. And we are strategic in Commonwealth if they understand. And Britain at this point, you do everything, you should know, but then Nigeria need to trigger this. That's where the leadership comes to play.
Thank you.
The leadership.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So that we continue to round up. Okay, let's hear finally from Obodo Charity, please. You can unmute yourself to make a comment.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's rather unfortunate that we don't have a government, because if we have a government in this country, this should not be happening. The government we have is a tax collector. You collect your tax and you go to sleep. Well, we Nigerians, we have to back our brothers, especially with the Igbos, because we can see that all over the world, Igbo businessmen and women want to be extinguished, because they know the Igbos are the backbone of Africa. So they want to extinguish the Igbos to make sure that we don't have anything. And if we don't have, we cannot really speak. So we have to stand by our brother. And for Meghan and her husband, they have seen That's the what's his name now, Prince Charles and whoever he is. They have seen that for Harry and his wife Meghan coming to associate with Africa, that's to give Africa a boost. And these are the African people that they don't want anything about Africa to rise. So if these people are coming to associate with us, that means there's something good in Africa. That is what is making these people to come. And that is why they want to rubbish their visit to this place at all costs. They will not even mind killing them to make sure that they achieve what they want to achieve. But I don't pray for that for them. And like you try to do the comparison between Onyema and Jaja, well, we don't pray that what happened to Jaja. We all know what happened to Jaja. We pray it doesn't happen to Onyema, because if it happens to him, we are lost. And we also pray by extension for our PO that is combing the whole of Africa, trying to unite Africa. These people are people that they don't take defeat. They don't want anybody to defeat them. They are not actually the best, but they want to claim to be the best. But the God that created Africa and put whatever he put in Africans will one day make us to be what he wants us to be. And they, in turn, will bow to us. My submission. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We thank everyone who has made a contribution to this conversation tonight. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday on another edition of Talking Drums. This is a DDM global production that has come here to stay, discuss important politics, important geopolitical events as they affect Africa. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to having you again next time. We thank Mr. Ikechukwu for his contributions, Mazi Okoye, Paul, Obodo Charity, and Henry, please. Thank you all for making this conversation tonight a huge success. And look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, sirs.